Hey, Keith, we need to cash in on some trends here in the podcast scene. And one thing we got to follow is the Am I an Asshole Reddit page. I got a story for you. Am I an asshole for refusing to cancel my trip for my brother's last-minute wedding? Bit of backstory. I, 29-year-old male, have had this trip planned for over a year. It's a big deal. A month-long trek through South America. Something I've been saving up for and looking forward to forever.
All
my
right.
brother, 31 male.
Sorry, am I an asshole? I have to interrupt you.
How dare you?
Are we really going to read, like, paragraphs that someone wrote on Reddit to start our podcast? Is this really what we're doing? Is this what we've come to?
My brother, 31 male, has always been the spontaneous type.
Okay,
which is cool, but sometimes frustrating.
I don't care. Why? Like, this is the problem. This is a problem with...
Am I the asshole?
This is my problem with, like, Reddit, with these type of forums. Is like, these people get online, they have these sad, pathetic lives, and they just want pity from just total strangers. It's almost like they want likes and they want pity.
Doesn't everybody want likes though? Like,
that's
isn't
what
that the purpose of life?
Well, that's what life is now. It's getting likes.
It's getting likes.
And
I think it's always been about getting likes, if you ask me.
Okay, I think, yeah, no, it is. No, you want to get you should want to get likes. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get likes. I think that's fine. However, I think when you're going online to have people pity you from some crappy thing that's going on in your life. What's happening?
Us.
Nice. Okay. So these people, they want to just get your pity, and I don't know them, and they don't need my pity, and I don't want to feel bad for some guy because his trip is ruined. Like, I don't care.
Well, these stories aren't real. Like, that's the big thing. Like, these are all lies. These aren't... I don't believe in, like, 99% of the stories that post. Especially the ones that get a lot of views, because they have ridiculous storylines that are, like...
Yeah.
Not true.
I will say that strange stuff happens, and I think...
Strange stuff happens, but most people don't talk about it online. Especially when they know they can get a ton... I'm more suspicious of posts that are really wild and they get a ton of like views and like they're still left up, because it's like at that point you're scared. You're like, oh man, the people I talked about could read this and they can key in. Because how many people have a trip to South America like this guy does and he has to skip his brother's wedding? You know, that's not... There aren't that many people who have that situation. And his brother probably is on Reddit and like...
Maybe, but is his brother in the I'm an asshole thread? Who knows?
31-year-old male.
Whatever. He might
that's prime Reddit. That's pretty much Reddit incarnate. 31-year-old male.
Well, maybe he's whatever. He's on there. But I guess my point is, it's like I know a lot of people. I've seen people like talking about this topic and like giving their take on whether or not they think that this person's the asshole. But here's the thing. If you are the asshole in the story, you're not posting it. Okay? You're not going to go on there and post your little story where you're an asshole, because no one wants to be perceived as an asshole. They know they're not the asshole in the story.
I think a lot of people like to be perceived as an asshole. Like, I think that's the premise of like the Seinfeld show. Like, it's like a lot of people...
Yeah, but those aren't real people.
Themselves as like an but a lot of people live their lives like that, or not like exactly like in the Seinfeld show, but this idea of like I'm sarcastic, or I say it how it is, or like, you know, it's like there's this idea of like there are people who are proud to be assholes. There are bumper stickers made like that. You know, people wear the asshole mantle with pride.
Yeah, but they're not on Reddit asking people to check out their cool story of them being an asshole.
They're not secure in their assholeness yet.
Isn't there already some sort of a subreddit for people who are assholes and they're like, yo, check out this story of me being an asshole?
I wouldn't want to search the subreddit assholes because I think I know what's going to come up.
Yeah.
But probably.
Yeah.
Oh, a society of assholes.
I don't think... I don't know if the thing you're talking about, I don't think no one ever talks about it as an asshole. It's like an ass or a butt. No one combines the two words when they're talking about that thing, I think.
I think they do. There are people who have particular asshole fetishes.
They want to say the words together?
I think they want... Yeah, I think they do.
Really?
Yeah, because you have to understand, like... Probably like a 50-year-old guy's making that page of like... I'm an asshole man, you know, I want to see the assholes.
Okay, well... Alright, well, you learn something new every day. I've never heard anyone talk about that act and use the term asshole.
What act?
The booty act. The dirty booty act. There's no point in talking about it because we can't really do anything with it.
Can't do anything with the booty?
With a clip. We can't really talk. That's not going to do anything for us. So I'm not gonna get into it.
You know what will do something for us? I think we should do the trend, man. I think I should read, or you can read a whole Am I in Household story, and we can get a take. I want to dig in more on this because do you think like, well, give me more of your take here because I feel like you're holding back. What's wrong with going on the internet and having feelings and understand? Granted, you know, when I was on Reddit as a younger guy, I was on a bunch of different pages as like a 16-year-old, 15-year-old, kind of exploring my interests and who I am. You know, I flirted with the atheism page, flirted with the Islam page, flirted with, naked women pictures. Like there's a lot to explore there, and you make posts. Like I vented about my dad once or twice in there, and I feel like there's a benefit. There's catharsis in that. So why are you opposed to it?
I think complaining to the masses about a personal problem that only affects you is...
But it might not only affect you.
No, it is. This is a guy specifically talking about this story of how he booked a specific trip and his brother, ruined the trip because he had booked a wedding the same time that his previously booked trip had.
But beyond the context of what's shared, what's the theme behind it? What are the themes associated with this? Themes of setting up boundaries, communicating with people, making sure that you're setting proper boundaries around your interests and who you are. I think there are people who can learn from that experience, who can go, I would cave. Honestly, if a brother of mine, somebody close to me was like, hey, Mo, I'm getting married during your trip, I think I would have an issue there. Like, oh, I planned for this trip, I spent all this money, but I want to be there for my brother's wedding, How do I build boundaries? What makes sense there? And what do you decide there? I don't think it's necessarily, because I remember when I was on Reddit, I posted about my family and living in a conservative Islamic household, and I posted it on a page where other people my age or older or different variations of my experience could chime in, So I've had people message me and say, thank you so much for sharing your experience. I'm dealing with the same thing specifically on Reddit. So I don't know, man. I have a different opinion there of people venting on there. Sure. I think the story is kind of ridiculous. I think
the premise of this subreddit of asking people if they're the asshole, it's the wrong name.
But a lot of people interpret being an asshole to setting up proper boundaries. Because I don't think you're an asshole, but you set up boundaries with people. You confront people when you feel that they, have transgressed. You're very clear about, how you feel, how you kind of. I appreciate that about you. You're somebody who sets clear boundaries. Well, there's some people who have trouble with that. Have you ever felt like you're kind of on the verge of being an asshole when you're setting clear boundaries with somebody? Has that uncertainty ever gone to you before? Where like maybe I was trying to express myself, but I feel
I feel pretty confident when I'm being an asshole and when I'm not being an asshole, or when at least I can understand that someone would think that, hey, you're being an asshole right now. I can understand that point of view.
Yeah. Have you ever been on the edge before where you're like, man, I kind of feel bad about it too? Like,
yeah. I mean, if I did something that upset someone and I knew it was going to upset someone, I might feel bad depending on the circumstances. But I can't be feeling bad because I had to do something. I didn't have something I just had to do. No choice.
You know what we should do?
What's that?
We should post on the Am I an Asshole page and just ask, what the community thinks. Am I an asshole for not liking the Am I an Asshole page? Let's find out what society thinks of you, and what they think of what you say. Mostly, 30-year-old men.
Just say I'm a 30. Just say I'm a 29. You're 29 now.
Look, we already got a comment.
Wait, you did it already?
Yeah. It looks like we already got it. Oh yeah, there it is. It's a comment.
These nuts.
Daddy.
Nice.
And I wouldn't post that.
That's good
Young
stuff.
Chinese boy.
What?
That's good stuff, man. Is that a phone?
It's an app with a bunch of memes.
Oh, that's cool. This is the equivalent of like people who just their whole sense of humor is like quoting movies.
Those people don't exist anymore. I think they all died out during the last when the Fire Nation attacked. I think they died out.
No, they're still out there, man. There's a lot of movie quoters.
Did you ever watch Avatar?
The
Avatar,
OG one? I watched
cartoons?
No. I watched the James Cameron film.
The Blue People?
The Blue People one.
Pretty much Pocahontas in space.
Yes, sir.
It was a good movie. It was wild they took so long to make a sequel.
I never saw the sequel. I saw the first one.
That was $1 billion production, right?
I got the 3D. I went to the IMAX 3D for that one. It blew my mind. I thought it was so cool.
It was a great movie. I think I watched it on TV, though.
Yeah, it's not the same experience.
Yeah, some movies are better that way. Was it $1 billion? It was a lot of money. The production was a lot, and they made a lot of money.
That's good, man. I think every movie should be $1 billion. I think unless it's $1 billion, not even worth watching. Why are we watching movies less than $1 billion? How could you can't make a great movie for less than $1 billion?
Every A24 movie is
those are like $9 to make. A24 films, $9, and guess what? The ones I've seen, pretty good.
Pretty good. I'm not a big fan of Midsommar, though.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It's twisted. I like a good messed up movie.
I didn't think it was messed up enough.
Okay, well, I didn't. Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for not liking Midsommar?
For not thinking Midsommar was, for thinking it was messed up when it was actually not very messed up. Am I the asshole?
Oh, it was probably messed up. I got bored. I left in the middle.
Oh, you went to see it in the theater and left?
No, I watched it at my girlfriend's family's house during the holidays, and I think it was like 75% of the way in, I left.
You watched it with a family?
Yeah. It was her mom, her brother.
Oh my God.
Her brother played the movie, and her dad went to sleep way earlier. He was not into it, and Courtney was right next to me, and I just got bored. I got really bored. I got so bored, I bought stuff on the TikTok store while watching the movie.
That's
That's how I got the wigs.
sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good podcast.
Am I the asshole for not being interesting during a podcast?
No, it's cool to bring up just how you stopped watching a movie,
Midway through.
and that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
That's a good story.
That's how I stopped having sex, too. Just midway through.
I started buying stuff on TikTok.
Just started buying stuff on TikTok.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Mo. I hope that gets ironed out for you, and you finish that movie up. There's a lot of scenes in that film that I would imagine would be awkward to watch with parents, but hey, you know what? It's not my parents, so I don't know. Maybe that stuff's cool in that house.
Her mom's pretty cool.
She must be cool.
She reads manga. She likes Japanese comic books. She's cool by me. I love the fact that I can pronounce manga incorrectly, and people will get mad in the comments. Like,
no one's gonna
little
hear.
nerds.
No one's gonna, unless we make it a clip.
Nobody really watches.
No one's gonna be complaining about that one.
Oh, jeez, dude.
What else you got, man? What else is new?
Vibing, man. I'm chilling, playing Helldiver. New video game that came out, Helldiver 2.
What is it? What's the premise?
Premise
What
is
style game?
it is a third-person shooter.
Okay.
You're in space. You are a soldier for the planet Super Earth, in which they believe in managed democracy.
Wow, the creativity is off the charts.
Oh, it's insane. Guess what? Guess who the main enemies are? Space bugs, Tyranids.
Wow, another first for a video game.
And guess what the other enemies are?
Black people?
Yeah, just swarms of black people. They call them the Negrotas.
They're brutal.
Yeah, they come from a giant black planet.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy they
wild,
put
dude.
that in that game.
Yeah, they do. They censor it, actually, because it's a little too much.
Yeah.
A little too big. But the censor's not enough to cover it.
It's just Kobe Bryant just over and over again.
Oh, Kobe Bryant's their king. Yeah.
Hey, your feather fell out.
Oh, my little feather? I don't know. I'll put
The
my feather back.
LF. Lil Fev.
Lil Fev.
That's your new rap name.
No, the other... Well, that's actually one of the main characters.
Lil Feather?
Lil Feather, yeah.
Nice, dude.
Lil Feather. No, they're robots. Another classic. Mean robots.
So, is it something different than most?
Yeah,
Third
the
person?
different part is it was really hard to log in. It was like impossible to log in
Is
for
there
the
a
longest time.
plot base? Is it a
There
plot
is
base?
a plot.
Or?
So like you're fighting for Super Earth, and you're fighting you're fighting for all the little colonies they have, and there are two different factions of enemies who are killing your colonies. So you have to every match you play contributes to the war effort in the game. So there's this giant, almost like RTS type of thing where like everybody is playing together. We're all one army and we're trying to survive pretty much. And we're losing. It is a hard game and the enemies really suck and we're losing planet, we're losing ground. But every match you play, and you get to pick your planet. There are a bunch of different planets you can play matches on. Mm-hmm. And there are different tasks you have to do. And depending on your contribution, you contribute to the war effort and liberate a planet a little bit. Or if you lose traction in a planet. So that's why people like it. It's like this giant team element to it. I like it because it's a pretty smooth shooter and it's pretty fun. And it's kind of scary. Like the monsters, they kind of really, really dive at you.
How many Mo thumbs up do you give it?
I give it 2 Mo thumbs up. Out of 5. It's okay.
It's pretty
Fun
good.
Game. It's a fun game.
Nice.
$40, cheap.
$40,
cheap game.
Cheap. Wasn't $1 billion.
Wasn't $1 billion. Not $1 billion production.
Not
Those
a billion.
servers were hard to get into.
Not a Billy.
Not a Billy. What are you doing? What are you doing, Nat? I see the VR headset's full display. Are you on the VR naughty websites right now? Is that what you're up to?
Right now?
Right now?
I'm in them. I'm in it, yeah.
I can hear Riley Reed in the background.
Riley, where are you?
Riley!
Um,
Did I tell you my most liked Reddit comment, and this is probably going to out me on Reddit, is Riley Reed answering a question on a MI page. What is it called again?
Ask Me Anything?
Ask Me Anything
AMA?
page. AMA page, yeah.
Okay, what did you ask?
I said, hey, love your work.
Great opener.
Love your work. Tell me, what's like the weirdest encounter you've ever had with a fan? And she was like, she shared a story about how she was in Vegas, and I never knew porn stars did this, but you could go to a strip club and be a featured performer and make a ton of money.
Yeah, that's what I do.
So, like, it's almost like, a stand-up comic touring. That's what she's doing.
That's what I do, yeah.
So she went to Vegas and she was touring, and one of the guys was like throwing a bunch of money, and he was like, you want to hang out with me? And she was like, sure, I'll hang out with you. So she hung out with him, and after they hung out, she was like, he was a really cool guy. I didn't sleep with him or anything, but I liked him. He was cool. I invited him to come back to the show. And he came back and he started kind of like being possessive with her.
Nice.
And he was like, that's my girl.
Yeah.
That's my girl. That's
Yeah.
Riley Reed's mine.
Yeah.
And she's doing her thing and he's starting to interrupt her work. So she pulls him aside and is like, you need to stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
Unless you can throw $100 bills.
She set boundaries.
She set
She's
boundaries.
like, these are boundaries that need to be crossed with hundos.
With hundos. So he started, in her story, throwing $100 bills, and she's like, I was cool with him after that.
All right.
But she said that was her weirdest fan encounter.
Nice.
And then I replied, nice hustle. And a lot of people liked the comment.
They like that. How many likes?
I think it's a 5,000 likes. 5,000. I have a 6,000 karma total.
Wow, man.
I don't know if that's a lot.
So how well did you sleep that night? Pretty good?
Oh, it was great. Riley Reed acknowledged my existence.
Nice.
I was over the moon.
Yeah, I bet you if she'd invite me over, strippers like me.
Strippers like you in
Yeah.
particular.
I did, so
Waitresses don't like me. Strippers love me.
I've been to a couple strip clubs. In my early 20s, I checked it out. I went, I think 2 or 3 times ever, and I just was like, this is weird. I can't go back. But I just like the last time I went, when it was like, this is the last straw for me, is like this stripper lady like came over to me and like just dumped all her problems onto me. She was like, she just told me about her whole life and all these issues she's having, and I just was like, her boobies out, and it's like right in my face. And she's like telling me how like her kid is 5 and she's on the rocks with the dad, and just all this sad stuff, and I'm just like, oh god, like this is supposed to be fun, you're ruining it. But then she tells her sad story. It's like the "Am I the asshole?" thread, but it's like, am I getting dumped on thread. And then so I
Was that a weird erection to have?
I didn't get. There was no. Come on, man. There's
Dude,
nothing.
Really?
No, dude. There's no. That's nothing.
Sounds like you're gay.
Yeah. Well,
that sounds awful. That sounds traumatic.
And that's why I'll never go back to a strip club.
That sounds traumatic.
I did go to a bikini bar once where a lady's boobie popped out, and that was pretty sweet. And I was pretty happy. I got to be the one who was like, hey, guess what? Your nipple's out. And she was like, ooh.
Have you ever seen 2 women fight and a boob pops out? Because it's one of the craziest things to see.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's a weird experience.
Really? You saw it?
Yeah, when I was like younger. It was a wild experience.
Was
to
it
see
at a
random
mosque?
Titty. No.
Okay, good.
No. Because there's a women's
Pretty
section.
wrapped up.
Yeah. There were plenty of fights in the mosque. Oh my God. We fought all the time in the mosque. One time, these two.
Wait, I want to hear the
these
titty mom. Tell me the
three
titty story
brothers-
first. Tell me the titty story first.
I was like young. These girls were just grabbing each other's hair, and one of them just grabbed a shirt, and a titty came out.
Yeah.
It was cool.
How young were you?
I was in middle school.
Where was this?
This is Lincoln Middle School. I probably shouldn't say the name of the school, but it was years ago.
A middle school titty popped out?
Middle school titty popped up, so it's not the best titty.
It's
to
a
talk
pretty
about.
rough one. That's a pretty rough
Pretty weird situation.
MS titty. No,
That's why I was trying to avoid talking about it. To be honest, with you.
you could have made. You could have said.
Because I don't hang around in circles where
You're like, this was just
adult
last
women are
week.
fighting each other in a titty pop. These are all.
Well, I hope that maybe
this is
that's
all
what I
childhood.
can only assume that had happened. That's a interesting one.
Yeah, it was weird.
Uh,
She put it back. I was also
she
a
didn't
middle
leave it.
schooler at
She
the
didn't
time.
leave it out the rest of the day.
I was also a middle schooler at the time. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world. Let's move on.
Sounds like it was the greatest thing in the world for you.
I got over it.
Yeah, that rules.
Plus, I have titties of my own. I can go in the mirror,
know-
I can look, I can grab one,
Give a little lick ski and you move on.
I'm a butt man because I already got the titties at home.
Yeah.
You
So
little hairy titties.
tell me more about the mosque fight.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I believe that?
Yeah, I want to hear about it.
No, before I talk about the mosque fight, I too I've never gone to a strip club, and I don't think I will. I'm going to Vegas this summer, so I might if my buddy decides to, is the bachelor party thing. But dude, I never want anyone to see me walk out of a strip club. Also, the sitting in any of the seats where somebody sat down and got bricked up. That's
no,
weird.
no. It's very nice. Oh, it's very
So
nice.
weird.
It's a lovely experience leaving a
To
strip
walk
club.
in a room and be like, there are people who are erect right now
Ideally-
is a weird experience.
Ideally, you're leaving the strip club in broad daylight. That's a good time to leave.
You stay there all night.
You're there all night,
Breakfast
baby.
at the breakfast at the strip club.
Yeah, they used to have a topless donut shop.
Breakfast in Tiffany.
Okay,
Get it?
there it is. That's the
Oh.
name of That's the name of the place you're going.
But no, one thing I didn't partake, but in 2015 I was in Amsterdam. And I was doing a little street photography at the time, and I was living in Amsterdam North with my uncle. And one thing I did was I was starting to take photos around the red light district because you couldn't take photos in the red light district. And I was there at night and during the day, and I noticed daytime prostitutes are scary. They are very scary people.
Yeah.
First off, Amsterdam does it right. They all have good health insurance. It's pretty ethical. But they have these doors. Anybody who's watched Bruce Bigelow, European Gigolo or whatever.
Deuce?
Was it Deuce or Bruce? It was Bruce, right?
It's Deuce.
It's Deuce?
It's Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo.
Oh, okay. Thank you for correcting me there.
I don't want to get torn up by the big Rob Schneider fan section of
The
our
Schneider
listening
fans?
base. Big Schneider heads.
Those Schneider heads are gonna crush us. But they have those they have the doors with the big window, and you can see the girl inside. Just like Barbie dolls and boxes. It's weird. So I'm walking by,
weird,
and
okay.
usually I was used to it at night where I'd walk by and the girls did not give a crap about me. I would just walk by and they didn't care because somebody would knock on the window and reach out to them. But I was walking by during the daytime, and the daytime prostitutes are not that attractive, and they were opening the door and grabbing me and hissing at me and pointing
Hissing.
to their genitalia
love
and
when
were
a-
like, "This is good. Right here is good. Come here."
I like a nice hissing woman when I'm trying.
It's also a little racist. Daytime prostitutes were a little blacker. Nighttime prostitutes were a little whiter and Asian. So it was a little.
So that's more your
It was
style.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. It was more mature. More mature.
At night.
In the daytime, more mature. At
More
night,
mature. Probably,
younger.
Probably a little earlier bedtime.
Yeah.
Probably like to get to bed early.
Oh yeah, somebody
to
else
seize
is
the
calling
day.
them mommy. Oh, somebody else
They
is
like
calling them
these
mommy.
women like to seize the day, the daylight ones.
But the wildest
Carpe
thing
diem.
is like walking around and watching dudes go in there and come out broad daylight. Like I
Yeah.
saw this little Asian dude.
Yeah, little Asian
just
guy.
go
Was it
in.
Bobby Lee?
It wasn't Bobby Lee. He was skinny. He was a skinny Asian guy. It looked like Jet Li, but like he looked like Jet Li if Jet Li couldn't fight. You know what I mean?
Huh? Jet Li.
Yeah.
Can't fight.
If he couldn't fight, Jet Li can fight.
Yeah.
We don't disrespect Jet Li.
Like a weak Jet Li.
a weak Jet Li.
Yeah.
Like just Lee, no Jet.
No jet.
Yeah.
Just tricycle Lee.
It's weird to be in the area and watch someone go in, get serviced, and come out. That was the
Yeah.
wildest thing. He was in and out within 10 minutes.
So you getting serviced?
Yeah.
That's cool. It's a good term for it.
At the time, I think it was €25 for a BJ,
Nice.
€50 for sex.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. How many toots did you end up getting?
I did not do it.
You didn't get any toots?
I would never get in it. Nope.
That's just for the podcast. He got a lot of toots.
Dude, first off, I was surprised at the price. I'm like, for 25, I could just that's a meal. That's a meal. For €50, you could have a meal and a BJ in Amsterdam.
That's really nice.
But no, I couldn't do it. Also, I was staying with like my uncle, and I don't think I could look him in the eyes at the end of that. Just be like,
You
go
wouldn't-
back to his house and be like, "Hey, Unc."
You wouldn't just have your uncle pick you up after you were just serviced, and you could be like, "Hey, what up?" He's like,
Serviced.
"Did you have a good time?"
Also, I was still a virgin at the time.
Another lie.
It's a little weird.
Wait, you're not a virgin anymore?
I mean,
Wait, what?
I mean,
Did we just get breaking news?
okay, so a lot of things happened this weekend, okay?
Wow.
Yeah,
Tell me about that.
You know, I just bent over a little too quickly at home and nature took its course.
I noticed you do a little tongue click a lot. Yeah,
You know, it's a part of my language.
part of your language. Is that what it is?
No.
You just do it out of style? Style points?
Africans do that. They go, you know,
So it's an African thing.
a lot of Africans do it when they're mad. They're, you know, what the heck's wrong with you?
I've heard,
Get outta here.
Africans.
You never go,
I've
fuck
heard-
out of here.
I've heard gay white men
Africans
do
are
it. you know?
Italian, you know?
Yes.
We're basically Italian.
Talk with your hands.
Talk with our hands.
Big hand talkers.
Big hand jobbers.
Nice. You must give good ones.
I've never tried. You want to? €25.
€25.
Do you have euros?
Let me go to the bank.
Have you ever been to Europe?
I haven't.
Really?
No, I've never been.
So
I
you
think-
have to go. You have to go, darling.
Oh my God.
You have to go to
Europe. Oh my God. If you're not going to Europe, what are you doing?
Really, check out the Maldives.
What are you just hanging out in Maine?
Good old Maine. It's wild. People from Europe want to come to Maine, man. Maine's
Of course
awesome.
they do. We're way better than Europe.
We are.
They're
Europe
like,
kind of
do
sucks.
you want to go see the Eiffel Tower? Or do you want to get a lobster roll from a guy with sleeve tattoos?
Perfect day in Maine. You start your day by going to Dutch's for breakfast, and then you get a reservation at the Lost Kitchen, and then you hug Jill.
Yeah. Yep. You hug Jill. Anyone named Jill.
Any Jills?
If your name's Jill,
I forgot the name of our governor. I was gonna say Janet Mills.
You just
yeah.
kind of like Jilled her.
I just Jilled Janet
you just
Mills.
J-Lo'd her.
J-Lo Janet Mills.
It's more of a J-Mill.
I like Janet Mills.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a babe.
She's very, very beautiful.
She's a total babe.
I trust her.
Definitely. She probably goes to Sebago Lake in a bikini. Did you just go there for a second? I just saw you close your eyes for just a split second and you went there. You were with Janet on the beach, sipping on some apple cider.
Sipping on some lean with my homie Janet Mills.
Sipping on some apple cider, feeling good about it because you got a gallon of muscle milk at home, just ready to drink it.
You drink muscle milk? You look like you drink.
You drink muscle milk. in this riff.
In this riff.
This riff, you're hanging out. You got one
In
arm
my
around.
imagination, Mo, you drink muscle milk.
You drink apple cider at the beach, and you drink muscle milk at home.
And that's
you
your
got
life.
one arm. You got one arm around Janet Mills, and you got your other arm hooking up your smartphone to be charged. That's what it is.
That's what I do with my other hand.
That's it.
Yeah. Jesus
Or you're
Christ.
or you're on your smartphone planning where you're going to get your next service.
It's €25.
€25. Even on
25
Sebago
euro.
Lake, €25. For
25
whatever reason,
euro.
if you're getting serviced, you're paying in euros.
I wonder how inflation has what inflation has done since 2015 to the price of a they called it a suck and fuck. That was the actual name of it was called suck and fuck. Yeah.
Nice.
You can get a suck, you can get a fuck, and then you can get a suck and fuck.
Wow, that's pretty. They do it all in one, huh?
Yeah, €25,
All in
€50,
one.
€75.
All under one roof. It's like when you go to Walmart, you can get a tire change and you can buy diapers.
You know what's even more wild is watching like patrons try to negotiate rates.
Yeah.
That's the wildest thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's it look like?
It looks like a dude just being like, "Hey, that was a $20 suck."
Oh, they
We
talk
both
about
know
it
it's a
afterwards?
$20 suck.
They're doing it afterwards?
I think this guy was doing it before because you got to
Oh, I
negotiate
think- yeah.
terms.
No,
You got to
you gotta-
negotiate terms.
You gotta negotiate pre. You do the pre-negotiation, but once you negotiate, that's locked in. You can't be like, oh, that wasn't, it's 20. Like, no.
Also, my thing is, I'm a feminist. I'm okay. I have no problem with sex work and sex workers. I think we should legalize it. I think it makes people safer ultimately if we do. But like, I wouldn't be interested in paying somebody to engage in that just because, like, to me, it's about love,
Yeah, man.
It's about love.
I can tell.
Yeah.
It's all about love.
It's all about love.
And I
dude.
think that's what it's like for everybody. I think it's all about love.
There's a difference between hooking up with somebody and having like passionate sex with them, Like,
Wow, hot take.
really, really different. I know it's controversial.
That's a controversial take right
Yeah,
here.
man.
You
Yeah,
heard it first. There's a difference.
there's a
guys.
difference. I don't know because I'm a virgin, but
Right.
but
you've
I'm
read
sure there's
stuff.
a difference. Yeah,
You've read
plenty of
certain
erotic,
things.
Plenty of erotica,
Yeah.
plenty of fanfic erotica, lots of Scooby Doo,
Scooby-Doo, that was your go-to?
lots of Harry Potter. Velma, bro. Velma. You weren't in love with Velma? Raven from Teen Titans? I forgot. We're different generations. Do you remember Miss Bop? What was her name? The black and white cartoon?
Miss Bob.
I
don't.
No.
No, I don't.
No.
I remember Marge Simpson.
Yeah.
Was I a Marge guy?
Bouvier.
Absolutely not.
You weren't a Marge guy?
Was anyone a Marge guy?
There were plenty of Marge guys.
Was your mom a big Marge guy?
My mom was a nobody guy. My mom would never talk about anybody she'd think is attractive.
That's so cool.
It's
Yeah,
weird.
my mom neither.
It
I
was
bet our
not-
moms would be tight.
I
Our
think
dads-
you've been
Our dads, my dad and your mom, they're gonna go mini golfing.
yeah, that's happening.
That's gonna happen. And then my dad's gonna he'll have his arm around her and they'll be, this is how you putt.
I don't want
stuff.
your dad touching my mom, even in your hypothetical. I don't want your dad touching my mom. Gary, I'm sorry. I don't even like it in the hypothetical, man.
Gare Bear. Don't listen to
I don't
him.
appreciate it. But no, my dad can do whatever the hell he wants. Honestly, Gary, you can do that to my dad. You can teach my dad how to golf.
Show Mo's dad how to hold a putter.
You and your dad golf?
Yeah, we've golfed.
Do you golf? Do you have clubs? Do you golf?
I got my dad's old clubs. I've got actually his last two sets of clubs. I have 2 sets of clubs.
A friend of mine is going to Austin, Texas, and I was telling her to check out Top Golf because that's probably one of the funnest things I did in Austin, which is they just have this giant building. You just go up to the top and you just hit golf balls off the edge
Wow.
into like a net. and drink margaritas.
You did that?
Yeah.
Nice. They got TNT, the driving range in Portland or Westbrook, I guess. That
Isn't
place,
that indoors?
No, it's outdoors.
Oh.
But you can get beers there and just drive balls. It's pretty
Where
fun.
is it?
It's right over like if you're going down Riverside, you take a right on like where like Forest Ave would be. It's like 302, I think.
Do you go upstairs? Or is it like...
No, it's right.
Oh,
it's across from the Dunkin' Donuts going to Westbrook. It's called TNT.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Westbrook's on the up and up a little bit. I've heard a lot of cool stuff there. The best pho in Maine apparently is in Westbrook. There's frog and turtle for brunch.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. You know what's in Westbrook? Market Basket. I'll tell you this. They got a lot of prepared foods. And my coworkers really ranting and raving about the selection. And I get in there, and they really do have a lot of choices. A lot of choices of absolute dog shit that they'll serve you that you can pick from. It's pretty wild.
Are you just outing your
Dude,
coworkers?
Well,
my
no.
coworkers don't have
I'm just like,
taste in their mouths.
Well, no. I was like, oh, there's like a chicken teriyaki rice bowl. Okay, I'll get this. Dog
First
crap.
off, why are you
Terrible.
trusting white people with your teriyaki chicken?
How do you assume white?
Market Basket. They all wear
Oh, it's got to be
ties.
called Market Ching Chong?
They all...
Is that what you want? You racist piece of shit.
Yes. I would rather go to
They
Market...
can't just call it Market Basket. They got to have Market Walk and Roll or whatever it is. There's got to be a pun for you. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm just saying, man. Don't be trusting white people with your teriyaki.
I didn't. You know what? I made
Don't
sure.
be trusting
I
them,
made
man.
sure it wasn't a white guy that made that.
Who was it?
I did a DNA test.
You did a DNA test.
Yeah.
Found out he's 100%.
I sent that chicken in to 23andMe. I said, "Where's this coming from?" And they're like, "It is from Wuhan. It's fine."
Hey, before I buy this chicken, may I have just a little bit of your DNA? Can you spit in
Can you
this?
spit into the chicken? And they're like, "Oh, don't worry, we already do that.
Oh, we do
It's
that
Market
for free.
Basket."
It's a part of the service. It's a part of the experience. I like Market Basket.
Oh,
I don't like Market Basket. I don't buy prepared foods.
they got sushi there.
No. Nope. Never
can't-
do the
dude.
sushi at these places. You know it's not real tuna. They use a different fish. It's not always tuna. It's not always salmon. Sometimes it's people.
It is. It's mostly people,
Yeah, it's
white people.
it's Hong Kong dissidents typically. It's who it is. I knew the guys at Hannaford who made the sushi. We were pretty tight with them. Fun fact,
Did he
they
have a
were
rice hat on?
Burmese. Huh?
Did he have a rice hat on?
No, but they did have a fancy hat. And the head boss guy he would always hug me. He'd say, "Big man, brr."
Here he is.
I'm lovable, I'm
Yeah.
huggable.
No, I think.
They would hook me up with the free sushi though.
And then you'd get food poisoning every time, but you just couldn't resist.
I did get sick, but I had the stomach of a man. I had a powerful iron stomach when I was like 17 working at Hannaford. And Hanny Daddy.
No, I want the sushi made by somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, or just good fish, right? Sushi grade fish. We talked about it before about how I still can't believe somebody would go to a Whole Foods
Not Whole
fishmonger.
Foods, but yeah, different. But anyway, yeah,
different fish
exactly.
places.
It's like people, they don't know what they're doing.
They're wild. I like Market Basket for some of their selection and pricing on some of the stuff is pretty good. But
Well, that's
we're a
if it's
Costco family.
I'm just saying, like the prepared foods section, it's too overwhelming. There's too many choices, and I can't imagine any of it's very good.
I would have done.
It's cheap though, and if you want cheap ass food, go there.
I would have done a rotisserie chicken. Why the
want slop.
teriyaki? Like I would have done a rotisserie chicken. That's more classic grocery store.
Okay, because here's the thing, man. I'm not buying a rotisserie chicken because I can't eat a whole rotisserie chicken.
You can freeze some of it, or not freeze it.
Freeze
Put it
it
in the fridge.
at work. I'm dealing with bones at work
Oh, so this is for food for. Oh yeah.
on lunch break. You know what kind of a maniac goes on lunch, gets a roaster chicken, and just picks at it at their desk like a freak?
I would do it.
You would not.
I would not.
Have you done it?
No.
Okay.
We used to do. I just ate. They had a wing bar at Hannaford. I would just have wings for lunch.
If you're eating a roaster chicken on your lunch break at your desk, I think you should have the police called on you.
You have a lot of feelings about people just living their lives. People who want to rant on the internet. People who want to eat a roasted chicken for lunch. What if they're hangry?
Well, what do you think?
Not all of us can have white collar jobs, man. Some people work real shift.
Yeah.
They work real hard, you know?
Yeah.
So some of them are turn wrench, you know? Some of them drink Bud Light, man.
Yeah.
Why can't they have a rotis? Why can't they have a little rotis chick? Huh? What's wrong with that? I think you need to examine yourself, man. I feel like you're hating on the common people.
This is what it is, man. No one goes on the internet to hear two guys with soft takes, okay? They want hard takes.
You want hard
dicks.
dicks.
Want hard and hot. And they want, because they don't want, like, oh, yeah, maybe because, you know, they don't have it because of enough money and they have to buy a bag of rice. And
you sound beautiful. I love that voice. That needs to be in your performance more often. I just think we should maybe treat people a little better.
Sometimes I can't afford lettuce, so I just pick leaves off the trees outside. I get real sick from it, but it's kind of the same thing.
Jeez. I didn't want to talk about this because it was like really sad. But
what?
Did you hear about the guy who, in protest of the atrocities occurring in the Middle East, he self-immolated and like burned himself alive? And the cops arrived and they pointed their guns at him. It was the first thing they did.
As he was extra crispy?
As he was crispifying. They pointed their guns at him, and it took one of the cops to go, I don't need guns, I need water. I need something to douse this. This guy was like really, I don't know, it's hard to judge the stability of people, because if you know the history of that type of protest, you know, monks have done it. Mohammed Bouazizi in Tunisia did it. That kicked off the Arab Spring. But like, there's a serious history behind that type of protest, but it's just wild to me that when it happens in America, the cops show up and point their guns at the guy as he's aflame.
You know what, man? I think that Rage Against the Machine album is sick, and if some other band can write a sick album and use that new immolation as an album cover, more power to this guy.
Yeah, I don't know if they have video or photo of that.
I mean, there's got to be video.
It has to be cam. Yeah, body cam video.
Yeah.
But no, it's just wild to me. Like that was the report. The cops, the first thing they did were whip out their guns. It's like, what do you?
Did they shoot?
What is that going to do?
The guy that was engulfed.
No, there weren't enough acorns around to prompt a shooting. But I think they ended up trying to help him. I think he ended up in a hospital.
Oh, he was alive for a bit?
That's
Wait,
not
is he
easy
alive?
going. Oh, I think he passed. I think he
okay.
passed away. There are memorials and stuff online about him because a lot of people do. I don't agree in self-harm, but I understand the history of that type of protest, and a lot of people are making him a martyr and believe what he did was he stood up for what he believed in. Honestly, guy has balls. Yeah,
man, our podcast would really blow up if one of us self-immolated. I'll tell you that much.
It would, yeah.
One draws.
Not it.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Not it. Honestly, you know, I have a lot of fat on me, and I feel like if I were to crisp up, it would be that flame's going for a while. You know?
Yeah, no, you've seen a poo-poo platter with the little flame. That's you.
It's gonna go for a bit.
You could do like a whole pig on, but that would be a disrespect to you.
Yeah, it'd be very disrespectful.
Religion if I did a pig.
I don't appreciate the joke. Actually,
the pig roast.
I think you should stop while you're ahead.
I'm ahead right now. I don't think
you should. You should stop at this point of where you dig your grave.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You only get one. A
kebab. A chicken kebab.
A kebab. Put me in the skillet.
A lot of chicken kebabs. Not put you, but I'm gonna roast something on
my
with
dead,
your flame,
with my flame.
Because it's
Honestly,
an everlasting
do you want to
flame.
taste that? Do you want to taste my fat, dude? My
course.
Taco Bell.
Your T-Bell? Yeah.
My T-Bell.
Yeah, of course.
I have a little bit of T-Bell. I bet, man, that smell must be horrendous.
It's unforgettable.
Yeah.
The smell of burning human flesh, unforgettable.
Yeah, I bet it is. I bet it's delicious.
You can just hear it crisping right now.
Well,
All jokes aside, though,
that is fucked up. It's just wild to me.
I saw a guy post a video. He's like, what was the guy's name?
The guy who self-immolated? I don't remember his name. I think Brian something, or I know he was in the military. He did it in front of a military base. Man.
In Atlanta.
Rest in peace.
Let's see.
I remember the first time the monks did it to protest Vietnam, and in 2012 or I think just before 2012, Mohammed Bouazizi, a fruit vendor in Tunisia, did it to kick off the Arab Spring and kicked off the revolution in Tunisia against I believe Ben Ali. Which was wild. He did it because this female officer, Aaron Bushnell.
That's the guy's name. But Aaron Bushnell. So there's this comedian, Mike Racine, who's very funny. He posts a lot of stuff in his stories about the war and how he stands with Palestine, and that's his angle there. And so, he's funny first. Usually, none of those videos are usually funny. But today he posted a video. He goes, I'd like to say, rest in peace to Aaron Bushnell. And I also like to let you guys know I have tour dates coming up. So if you guys want to come see me, and he just did all of his tour dates right afterwards. And it was so funny, dude. It was
so wrong. Everything's a joke. Nothing's really off limits, but it's like...
Especially when it's like a self-immolating guy.
Well, I highly doubt, like... Maybe it's a lack of seriousness now, but like...
He did it for
when
clicks.
Mohammed Bouazizi did it, everybody had black and white photos of him. He did it for clips. He did it for views. Am I the asshole for self-immolating in front of my barracks in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, no. It's a historical last resort protest to just show that, and also his story about...
He just wanted attention. That's the same thing as these...
He just wanted internet clout.
That's all he wants.
He didn't seem stable when I watched some of the videos.
There's no way.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he did that and not...
But then I questioned myself. I'm like, what condition do you have to be to do that? Because
you gotta be in rough shape.
When Mohammed Bouazizi did it, his whole life was taken. It's like he felt like his only way to provide was taken away. Like they destroyed his fruit stand, which is how he paid for his mom and sister to survive, family members to survive, and they wouldn't let him do what he needed to do. The government was horribly corrupt, and he went to like the capital and doused himself in gasoline and set himself ablaze, kicking off a massive revolution across northern Africa and the Arab world. So I can see like historically where, you could look at that and be like, man, I want to do that in America. I think it's been a while in America since somebody has done that.
I think right before that guy lit himself up, he was just like, think about all the reels people are going to make about this story that I'm about to do.
I wonder how much karma I'll get for this one.
My Reddit karma is going to be through the roof,
Oof. Imagine, like, I don't want to insult him. I'm not going to say it. Because, I don't know. Imagine suicide in Islam is a sin. So just, like, imagine, like, setting yourself on fire and dying. And then going to hell and being set on fire for life. It's kind of like...
It's like a preview. It's like a sneak preview.
Yeah, it's like that's...
It's like... That's crazy. That's like going to see a movie and you see the preview for the movie right before you watch the movie. I've never seen that.
Because I think when you're ending your life, it's really sad. And it's like maybe trigger warning when we get into this topic.
No,
if, like,
no trigger
if any of
warning.
this gets in, but like there's a finality to it. Like, oh, it's over. But then like to get, man, that's awful. Awful suffering. I will say I can understand the guy was conflicted and he felt like he was party to the war. Like he felt like he was party. He was serving to kill thousands of people. I'm on the Free Palestine side. I'm at this point, I'm at the let Palestinians live and not like, I just don't want Palestinians to die anymore. But I don't know. Now it's kind of like a bad tone in the podcast.
No, it's cool.
That's just how I feel.
It's cool talking about the most depressing shit on the planet when people
There's
hopefully
more depressing stuff.
Tune in here to
Next week
laugh.
we'll talk about organ transferring in China. Let's talk about the Uyghur people.
Oh yeah, they're in
Islamic world is pretty quiet about the Uyghurs
why
and
are
their
they
organs. Because Saudi Arabia is awful. And they are the leading Islamic power in the world. And I don't know, man. When you really think about geopolitics, it's all about power. It's all about who's on the top of the hegemony. Like,
Yeah.
and America's the big dog in the world, and China's up there, and they all have their little cliques. America has Saudi Arabia, their rich homie. It's like the world is like a high school if you really think about it.
For sure.
America's just that big bully, and they got their rich friend, Saudi Arabia, and they got their smart, quirky Asian friend in Japan. They got their wild, witty friend in the UK, and China and Russia have a good clique.
So witty.
Yeah, they're great.
UK, so witty.
So witty.
Ricky Gervais.
Really? Oh, Ricky Gervais.
So witty.
Oh my God. Russell Brand.
Russell Crowe.
Psycho.
Any other cool Russells? No. That's it.
Nope.
All the Russells. That's every Russell.
Every little Russ.
Yeah. I kind of think, I'm pretty sure like all the world powers are actually just in cahoots with each other. The most powerful people are all kind of in cahoots. Cause like they have all the money, they just have all the money, and they're kind of like just picking and choosing like where they want to put their guns and their bombs and their,
They say the most the richest cash rich person, not like asset rich person, is Vladimir Putin. Like he just has a stockpile of cash.
Sure.
But
Vladdy P.
I don't know. I don't think it's all posturing. I think there's legitimate, historical hate between different groups that you just can't get by, right? And there's also just like land expansion and kind of like making sure you have presence and the capabilities to like.
There's just so much money being made off war. It's like so profitable to go to war.
Eisenhower, our own president, one of our own presidents, warned us about the military industrial complex and how companies make so much money off of the inefficiency of government spending. Like the federal government spends so much money incorrectly. It's actually insane how much goes into military research from the federal government, and then those companies turn around and sell products to the other companies. Like, I don't know,
it's just people making lots of money, and then we have no impact on that.
Yeah, we don't have a major impact. Together we do, like if like a bunch of people got together, but I don't know. Life is too short to spend like your entire life fighting against like inequality and corruption. Like you're just not going to get to all of it.
No, you're never going to get there.
Yeah.
There's always going to be like a more powerful person. There's always going to be someone with more money that's able to do things that you have no control over. because they have
But I
all the
believe
power.
in the power of like some institutions. Like I feel like the world would be the country would be a better place if, we had more unions, more powerful unions to, speak for labor. Like, I'm supportive of like, I do believe that there are people who are truly idealistic who believe they can make an impact and change in the world. There are good politicians out there, there are good business people out there. There are people who are looking at things a little differently.
Yeah, but they
Change comes. It's just it doesn't come quick. It doesn't come really quickly.
No, but at the end, it's like like outdated kind of like racist laws or sexist laws all got removed because it's like, I mean, I feel like the rich people can get richer from that stuff too. It's like when you open the workforce to women, you're just putting more labor out there for them to make more money for the people up top.
So let me ask you something, Keith. I'm just going to mention this just out there. Do you think me and you are equal?
No.
No? No, for real. Like, do you think me and you are equal?
Equal what?
Equal citizens, equal people in this country.
Like,
it's not a trick question, man. Do you think we're equal or not? Not like in ability, not merit. I mean, just
I thought we were just talking
in regards to the government and us. Are me and you equal?
Us?
Yeah, we're equal. You can be the president if you wanted to. I can't.
No.
Can never be president.
I couldn't either, though.
No, you could. Legally,
yeah, it's on the books.
You
Legally,
could.
I could, but I can't.
I can't. I can't even
either,
if I
though.
worked as hard as I could.
I know.
And I put all my effort in.
I know. Because how do we know
they used to call me Mobama in high school.
Well, how do we know that, you're not a sleeper cell agent somewhere? That's what they're worried about. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because Somalia is trying to sleeper cell.
I know, dude. That's how crazy it's gotten.
That is just how strong the Somali intelligence organization is.
I know. First it's Somalia, next thing you know, boom, Russia.
Oh my God. No, but do you ever think about that? It's not like
that it's
a
not
huge
fair
deal.
That someone born in another country can't be president of the United States.
Oh, I came here when I was 3. I was raised here. I'm an American citizen.
Yeah.
I, as a condition of me being in this country and being a citizen and also taking advantage of student loans, I'm up for draft. If a war were to come, they're probably not picking me, but just like they wouldn't pick me in basketball, they're probably not picking me for war, but
I don't know.
that's on the table.
Did you see the South Park movie?
But you know what I mean, though? It's a weird, I think there's an argument there, right? Like you bring a 1-year-old here,
Yeah.
and they live their entire lives. They're a patriot, maybe even become a war hero. When did why do we draw the line there? Why does the U.S. president have to be natural born? That's still on the books,
Are other countries like that?
I don't know. I think there's an implicitness there, maybe, but I'm sure there are countries that don't have that requirement.
Like, I could run for president, sure, but I just don't think. I mean, you have to be in such a small group of people to even have a chance to put your name in the ring, actually being able to be elected, though.
Yeah.
You have to be.
But when you think about it from like a stats perspective,
Like,
if you were to, there's a chance.
If I start day one, if I'm like, all right, you know what? From now here on out for the rest of my life, I'm trying to be president.
Well, average presidents are usually above 6 feet tall, so you might have a rough time.
I'm already at.
There are disadvantages.
But
why is it that you're immediately trying to look for disadvantages? Like you're like jealous.
You just did.
You're like jealous of. I'm not looking. I was stating a fact.
You said
between me and you.
I didn't look for that.
I can't be president.
That wasn't on my mind.
But when I proposed this, you're like, well, I could never be president
It wasn't the height
Because
thing. I didn't even think of
not
that.
even the
I didn't go
height
to that.
thing. Not even, but you're like, I could never be president because I'd never be. I could never get it. It's not possible. There are boundaries. There are things that'll stop
Oh yeah,
me.
you have to. There's so many things. You have to go to Harvard, I think.
Yeah, you have to go
I
to.
think
You have to go to Ivy
specifically,
League.
I think you have to be in Ivy League school to be
You
president.
actually have to suck one man's dick, one particular man's dick that's in Harvard. He is in office, and he's like, if you want to be president,
This is the one.
this is
This
it.
is the presidential penis.
You got to show me your gok.
Don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's cool. But that's true. Like, if I were elected, I would be the shortest president ever elected.
You would be.
I could be the shortest president ever.
Yeah. You should do it.
I should do it.
You should run. Keith for president.
You know, because here's the thing. I could just wear, those
Well, DeSantis could have been the shortest president ever.
the Gene Simmons boots.
Simmons.
Gene Simmons from Kiss.
I know who Gene Simmons is.
Yeah, he wore big platform
He has
shoes.
a big old tongue, too.
Got a big tongue. Maybe not real, I don't think. Maybe real. I don't remember. Either way.
Why would you have a prosthetic tongue?
I don't know, man. I think just to make it look really big. And then it bled, too. They look a bleeding tongue. That's why I think it was fake. You can look it up. You can look it up.
I would be worried about choking on that thing.
But I think I mean, you look at someone like Bernie Sanders. He never made it. He got close, but you knew he wasn't going to make it. He hasn't got that Clinton thing going on, you know.
Well, they stole that from him.
And you don't think they could
100%
do
stole
that from me if I got that far? They'd steal it from me. They'd be like, this guy, you know, he's 5'5". They don't want to.
You want a short
What a
press?
joke.
You know,
What
they
a
never
joke.
mentioned Hillary Clinton's height. That never came up.
Well,
They were like, I'm her way.
well, that's the thing.
They were like, she just has too much going against her already.
Well, they say that. Dude, I'm remembering the first Trump election so much right now because of him being so much taller than Hillary, and the way they'd have to they'd frame them the same when they were debating, and they looked the same on the screen because the height or whatever. But there was that really funny debate where Trump just kept sneaking up behind her. You remember that?
There was.
There's this really weird debate where he just kept randomly popping in the shot from behind. I wonder if it was just his strategy to I'm so much taller than this lady.
I was I've been listening to an ebook called How to Win Every Argument by Mehdi Hassan from MSNBC, Al Jazeera, Peacock, and he was talking a lot about Trump, about ad hominem arguments, and he's like, that was the one big mistake we did in 2016 was nobody was willing to go down to his level and talk shit back. And he's like, I forget who he said, if it was Aristotle or some sort of philosopher once said, don't ever discount the power of an ad hominem argument. It's historically very powerful to talk crap about the other person you're debating with, and we've been historically taught in debate classes and in life, in sports, have you ever heard of people say don't play the ball, don't play the man, don't try to hit the other player, don't you play the game, focus on what matters. Same with debates, it's focus on the material, and that's what the Dems did, focus on the material, focus on the problem. But Trump had no problem talking shit, making nicknames up,
Dude, I would slay in the nickname of my opponent department. I could do really good nicknames.
Lion Ted or Lion Jed or whatever.
They're not memorable.
Sleepy.
Everyone remembers Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe's
Crooked Hillary.
Crooked Hillary.
Classic.
Also, the guy to be orange and have blonde hair as a old man.
Yeah.
To tan is to be so to be overweight and openly make fun of relatively healthy looking people. Like Ted Cruz.
He's a lovely man.
Oh, man.
Well, any closing statements? Am I the asshole for,
Am I the asshole for farting next to Keith? You tell me in the comments.
am I the asshole for liking it?